Ah, it's happened again, people. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dug In Football channel. As you can see, I'm on my own again. I have absolutely no idea where Jack is. I've messaged him constantly, and I have not had any reply from him whatsoever. But we will continue on as always as well. Let's say hello to a few people as well. Almighty Blues FC, hello. Hoping all games happen. Yeah, well. Obviously, there are 5 that have been postponed. Obviously, hello to James Dunlop. Hello to Helen Raybold. And hello to Statman Stubbs Football Channel as well. So yeah, if Jack does come on, then obviously fantastic. But we will see anyway. But we will begin with obviously one of the games that has obviously been postponed. It is Manchester United against Brighton. It is 5 wins to United. The last meeting was a 2-1 victory for Manchester United, but obviously Manchester United have a lot of COVID cases. I think I read somewhere that they had 7 fit players for this weekend. Absolutely mental how they've only got 7 fit players for the game on Saturday. Brighton lost 1-0 to Wolves, but this doesn't tell the whole story. Brighton just can't score goals. They just cannot score goals at the moment, and they're very, very much struggling. They are very, very much struggling as well. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see. But whenever this game goes ahead, I mean, I was going to go for a United win anyway. I was going to go for a 2-0 Manchester United win for against Brighton anyway. And I've just realised I've completely mucked up because I was meant to say how everyone did in Matchweek 17. Douglas working overtime today, 3 streams today. Keep up the grind as let's pray some of the games go ahead. Yep, absolutely. Michael, if you're free to come on and take me on, then just obviously let me know. But I know you're a very, very busy man anyway. So I was against Brad last week from Leicester Till I Die, of course. And I have to say, it wasn't a great week for both of us. We got 3 points, 3 outcomes. To be fair, in the comments, there were a lot of 4s, a lot of 5s, a lot of 6s, and a lot of 7s. And the Asian Sensational FC, Eddie Video Star, and Roberto the Hornet all got 7 points. So very, very well done to you all for that. Anyway. So let me just see. Man United 2, Brighton 1 would have been my prediction if it had gone ahead. Premier League should be cancelled. So Sport Cat until Christmas, possibly. Yeah, I'm on the bus now. It's full. Might have to skip this one. Nope, no problem. No problem. We'll definitely try and get you on later if you are obviously free and you can come on the LFC Friday Focus. We'll give you a link there as well. So yeah, I think many people have probably gone for a United win, to be honest with you. I think it would have been good. I'm glad Brad's prediction of Chelsea 6, Everton 0 was completely wrong in the end. Lol. Big up to Brad though. Yeah, Brad is a top guy, and yeah, it was just one of those games. How many Premier League games are still going ahead at the moment this weekend? As far as I'm aware, there's 5 games going ahead so far. There's 5 going ahead so far. So yeah. So we will move on to Aston Villa against Burnley. This is one of the games that is going ahead as things are as concerned. So it's 2 wins to Burnley, 2 draws, a moment to Villa. The last result was a 0-0 draw between the sides. Villa managed to win a 2-0 win over Norwich City. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. I think the way that they played, Ramsey with a fantastic solo goal. And then obviously Ollie Watkins gets the second as well. But to be fair, Norwich did give Villa a bit of a few problems in there as well. But Villa under Gerrard have just completely transformed. They completely transformed the way that they've been playing. And I think also you look at Villa under Stevie G, I think they've been very, very good. So you can quite clearly see the impact he's had on and off the pitch there. Yeah, for sure. Burnley, obviously, they didn't play against Watford. That game was obviously postponed. Actually, when was Burnley's last game? Burnley's last game was a 0-0 draw with West Ham. So, yeah, they've not had a game for a week. So they'll be the more fresher of the two teams. But I look at this. I would have watched this game, and I actually just think the way the Villa are playing, I can only see a Villa win. I can only see an Aston Villa win. The way that they're playing, and I think they'll beat Burnley. I'm going to go for a 3-0 victory. I think it'll be an absolute battering that they get, an absolute battering. I'm going for Villa 3, Burnley 0. Hello to Nipun. Hope you're doing well. Don't know if you're still in Pakistan, Nipun, are you? I think you might be. So hope you're doing well anyway. He's gone for a 2-1 win to Aston Villa. Afternoon, everyone in the chat. I would have come on your channel, but I'm supposed to be working. I'm currently watching you on my TV. Very interesting. And James Dunlop has gone for a 2-0 victory to Aston Villa. Hello to Elevator and Escalator fan as well. Hope you are doing very well. So, and one more comment. I'm saying 1-0 to Villa. Yeah, I fancy Villa. I fancy Villa to beat Burnley. I fancy them to batter them, to be honest with you, as well. So we will go on and to another game that's obviously been postponed. It's interesting reading into this one, though. 2 wins to Brentford, 2 draws, 1 win to Saints. The last draw was a 2-0 win to Brentford, but most of the meetings between Brentford and Southampton have actually come in the League Cup, with Brentford winning the last 2 games as well, both being at St Mary's, very interestingly enough. But Southampton, look, they played very, very well against Crystal Palace, managed to, draw 2-2 in the end. It's really, really interesting, very, very interesting to see how they're going to be, doing. But obviously, we've made massive COVID cases in the Brentford squad. This game has obviously been postponed as well. So we're obviously making the best of it. We're obviously making the best of it here because, obviously the games that are obviously postponed, I'm just going to predict them anyway because I think it would be a bit nonsense not to, anyway. And then obviously these games will be rescheduled anyway. But Brentford, they haven't played since the Watford game. They won 2-1 against Watford, so that was very, very good as well. So. My prediction for this game, I would have gone for a 2-1 win to Brentford. I think Brentford would have actually gone to St Mary's and actually win. I think they would have gone over to Southampton and took a 2-1 win. I would have gone for a 2-1 victory. Let's see. I'd be surprised if any game goes ahead. Ours is already off. I did see that, Brad. Oh, and speaking of the devil. Jack, how are you?
Mate, you okay? Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah, how are you?
Everyone.
No, that's all right.
We'll just tell me off after the show.
That's all right. We'll just go back to Manchester United, Brighton. What would you have said if that game had gone ahead?
Let's get my headphones.
Oh. This is what happens when you go live. This is what happens when you go live. Fox's Focus says, I'd be surprised if any game goes ahead. Ours is already off. I did see that. Yes, he is. I'm disappointed that you aren't wearing one of your Christmas jumpers. One of your 6 Christmas jumpers. Yeah, not today. Not today. Decided to go in the LFC top. Anyway, I'm in neighbouring India, says Nipun. When it goes ahead, I'm saying 2-0 Southampton, says Elevator Escalator fan. Southampton 1, Brentford 1. Again, would have been my prediction if it went ahead. Dom made a good comment yesterday that if the Premier League was suspended, that would mean Salah Mane would miss more games in January. Interesting. That is very interesting. And James says big up to Jack. But we'll obviously go back to Manchester United against Brighton. How would you have seen this game going had it been going ahead?
It would have been a difficult one, wouldn't it? The Brighton did get beat by Wolves, didn't they? Just this week, just gone. Wolves were very prepared playing Liverpool and obviously City back to back in reality. But I think we've seen Brighton, especially give us a torrid time this season, and a lot of other clubs anyway. But you could have possibly seen Brighton get a point or two. But you never know with Brighton, especially with Morpie if he turns up, and depending on how well or good Manchester United do defend. I think me and you were surprised, weren't we, mate, when we've been speaking about United and I don't know, the neutral fans out there, how they defended against, was it Watford? So it's chalk and cheese what United you do get on the day. I know they're in transition with changing the philosophy and how they play. Well, not a philosophy because United have always attacked, but in terms of the manager, mate. But I would have went Brighton possibly 2-1 on that one. If it did go ahead, mate, I would have won.
Interesting. Obviously, I will obviously write these down. It's interesting. 2-1 Brighton. That is very, very interesting. Obviously, I know this man will obviously have impressed you quite recently. Stevie G, Aston Villa against Burnley. How do you see that one going?
It's going to be a test for Stevie in the chat. He's probably played against Brexit teams before, but he's never managed against a lot of them. Obviously, he's managed in Scotland, but I doubt the teams in Scotland are set up to what he Burnley do. It's going to be a tight one, that, mate. I'd possibly go. I know you've been given a lot of clean sheets, Stevie, but as I said, I'd go 1-0 Villa.
1-0 Villa.
Yeah, because it's going to be either way, really.
Well,
sorry, Dan, if you're watching. Anyway, Burnley though.
Yeah, I've actually gone 3-0 Villa. I think I think Watkins, McGinn, Buendia, Ramsey. I just think they'll be too strong. They'll be too strong for Burnley. Obviously, another game has obviously been postponed. Southampton Brentford. I went for a 2-1 win to Brentford. I think the way the Southampton play, they're one of the most unpredictable teams to predict right now. Obviously 2-2 against Crystal Palace. Obviously Brentford's last two games have been postponed against Man United and obviously Southampton. How would you have gone this one?
Yeah, I'll do compared with you, mate, in terms of picking Brentford. As you said there, it's difficult for teams that haven't been playing, or that's what we'll find out, not just for Liverpool, especially if our Tottenham games cancelled. It's going to disrupt the momentum of players' fitness and obviously the rhythm when they go into these games. So, yeah, I would have went Brentford, I would have went I'm big fans of Brentford, the way they play. So I would have went possibly 2-1 Brentford.
2-1. Same as me. Elevator Escalator has just said Inter Milan have officially terminated Eriksen's contract. It's very sad, but I just can't see him. Yeah. I don't know where he'll go now. Because James
back to Ajax.
Yeah, James has said, I think Eriksen will retire now. Can't see him coming back to play on the pitch again after what happened in the Euros. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Helen saying hello to Jack. Same, I can't see his career continuing. I think he'll retire, sadly. I hope not. Yes, I agree, James. Statman subs, afternoon, Jack. Hope everyone in the chat are doing good. Yeah, we'll need... Statman, you'll need to get... Oh, actually... Yeah, you've been on this channel anyway for the Premier League review show. I've been watching that as well. Poor old Carl, by the way. We'll obviously come on to Leeds shortly, but my goodness me, it was just horrible to see his head dropping every time Leeds were conceding.
We just told him to stop looking at the thing. If he's switching off eventually, it's oh dear.
Yeah, absolutely. However, you look at Jimenez, he's still playing. Yeah, that's true, but he got a fractured skull. It's just his heart, Christian Eriksen. So another game, would you believe it or not? Another game is obviously off. It's Watford against Crystal Palace, and bloomin' heck, you do your timing, because this was the thumbnail. I had Emmanuel Dennis, who I think has been absolutely impressive for Watford, and Wilfried Zaha, who has been very, very impressive for Crystal Palace. Funnily enough, the last 5 meetings were 2 wins to Watford, 2 draws, 1 win to Palace. The last result was a 0-0 draw. if there's any game that potentially could finish 0-0, I don't think it'd be this one. Watford can't keep clean sheets to save themselves, and Crystal Palace can't defend to save themselves as well. But I would have just gone for a narrow Palace win if I had to choose.
Yeah, I think Tilly's predicted 2-1 Palace. Tilly, we're on live. Yeah, is that just been cancelled then, Doug? Before we come on live?
Yeah, it has.
That's a shame. That could have been a very exciting game for the neutral as well, really. Watford, we'll find out come the end of May whether they do stay up. I'd say they have got the utilities to very, very stay up, but you can see a performance like United. I know our under 12s probably beat United. Sorry, those fans. But and then you just chalk and cheese. As I said, the last couple of results have been absolutely battered. I would have won Palace. I think they would have wanted to react the way in which obviously the loss to obviously Steven Gerrard a couple of weeks ago. They want to bounce back, and especially most importantly, the teams probably above the top three, in and around that section. Any points are so important, especially in this Christmas period, and then obviously January. You'd hope that the clubs above the top three and possible 5 6 teams would just try and pull away, but you never know. I would have went Palace if it went ahead, mate. I would have went 3-1.
3-1.
Yeah,
that's a bold one. Yeah, I would have gone 1-0 Palace. I think it would have been a very, very tight one. Let's see what some of you are saying in the chat. There's a lot of chat about Ericsson, obviously, understandably. Helen Rabel will see what the future holds. Watford 1, Palace 2. I would have gone for, said James. Yes, Helen agrees with Elevator. 1-0 Crystal Palace. Watford are not a bad side like Norwich. No, they're not. But I feel that Norwich are getting better under Dean Smith. And I think Watford are getting, dare I say, a little bit. I wouldn't say they've been improving under Ranieri, but they are defending a lot better, I would say. But the thing is, they are struggling to score goals as well. So, and I know your sister's a Watford fan as well, Helen. So I do know that. 1-1 Watford Palace. Dennis is in good form. Yeah, Emmanuel Dennis for me is one of the signs of the summer. Jack, would you agree with that?
Yeah, terrific little player, isn't he? I think they'll be happy, and if they are to stay up, it'll be integral. I was mentioned with Norwich, with Pookie, with them. It's the thing when you're not in a fully established big team, you need more than ever is your one main or two players to really stand out that season and very much solidify them. I love to call it against United. I think we all did. But it was, as the lads have said, Elevator, yeah. Keep an eye on him because how many goals has he got now? Elevator is like 6 or 7. I
think he must be about 7. I think it's 7 goals.
That's good. That's I think that's more or less similar to what Bruno Fernandes and a couple of big players in the league are on. So fair dues to him, and we're only 15, 16 games into the season, so long may that continue for Watford. Yeah, if they stay up, it will be because of Dennis.
Yeah, definitely. Dennis is proven to be a good replacement for Deeney, in my opinion. Yeah, I think Dennis has been fantastic. How long will Ranieri last? We all know what Watford are like with managers. No idea. March. I'll give him till March.
I'm surprised he's lasted this long, Mason, and everyone.
I know. Hello to Asian says so. Very interestingly enough, Steve, you were actually one of the top scorers of last week. You got 7 points along with Eddie Video Star and Roberto the Hornet. It was a very, very tricky week to predict last week anyway. So yeah, very, very well done. Very, very well done. I think if Watford lose again, Ranieri is gone, says Elevator. Very interesting. Is that only 4 games going ahead now, or is it still 5? It's still 5 at the moment, mate. It is still 5 at the moment. I blame their owners for the amount of managers they have had. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of postponed games, only 5 fixtures so far. This was another one, unfortunately, that has been postponed. West Ham, Norwich. I mean, if I look at the we look at the stats, it's obviously 3 wins to West Ham, 2 draws. Last meeting was a 2-0 win to West Ham. I mean, West Ham have gone off the boil a little bit, but I would have probably expected them to have beaten Norwich this week. I just think that the way that West Ham played against Arsenal, yes, they were unlucky, and I think Soufal was never a red card. That was never a penalty. I think Soufal wins the ball clean as anything for sure. And you have to say that also, I think Anthony Taylor was really, really bad in that game as well.
Yeah. Now the West Ham, our good West Ham mates would have wanted this game to go ahead, most importantly to bounce back. And there's no better team, no disrespect to the Norwich fans, but there's no better team to react than a team bottom in the league anyway, or in the bottom 3. They just need to get back on the horse and continue to just chip away at points. Obviously, Arsenal this week sneaked in, and the Aston fans lost their minds, and marbles really going, sadly, the league doesn't finish after 16 games. So there's a long way to go. But it's going to be difficult. We've seen it with Leicester, haven't we, Doug and chat, over the last few years. West Ham could have possibly in the future could be top 4 all season and then miss out at the back end. So yeah, I would have went 5-0 to West Ham.
You would have gone 5-0. Funnily enough, I'm going along the same lines. I went 4-0. I would have gone 4-0. So yeah.
Because I think David Moyes would have absolutely shut that dressing room door at full time. And I know he didn't get the decisions as he alluded to there, mate, but you need the reaction, and you can't let results, especially in a derby as well. Well, not a derby, but a London derby.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, look, Aidan Sensational, you did get a few wrong, but there were a couple in there that I think you want one perfect, and that's all the key is get those 3 points for sure. Won't be surprised if Spurs Liverpool is postponed. We will come on to Spurs Liverpool. A lot of conflicting reports about this game anyway. James would have gone 2-0 to West Ham. Helen Rabel would have said West Ham should win. Elevator and Escalator fan would have agreed with me. He would have been 4-0. They were terrible against Arsenal. Yes, they were. They were very, very poor, but not helped by Anthony Taylor's inept refereeing, I think. I still think our game will go ahead as Tottenham are prepared to play Leicester yesterday. It will still be on as long as in sudden outbreak of COVID in the Liverpool squad. And obviously, if the cases go down in the Spurs squad as well. Norwich is so poor these days. I think Norwich are improving under Dean Smith. The only problem is they're not going to get many results, I don't think, unfortunately, as well. And Dean Smith has a very tough job to get them motivated to play his way. I think Billy Gilmore's been injured as well, which doesn't help any matter. But we do have another game on Saturday. There's only 2 games on Saturday, believe it or not, and it is this one, Leeds United against Arsenal. Leeds United were absolutely battered off the park by 7-0 against Manchester City. It's 1-1 to Leeds, 1 draw, 3 wins to Arsenal. Last result was a 0-0 draw, but I have to say, there is no way this game is finishing 0-0. The way Leeds played against Manchester City, if you open them up like they did, they are going to get goal after goal after goal. Arsenal, very good victory against West Ham. And Arsenal fans, I'm going to actually ask Jack this because Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang not available yet again for selection. What do you think is going on there?
Good, mate. I'm watching this as a neutral fan. Obviously, everyone's like, "Oh, Aubameyang." If Aubameyang was scoring 25 goals, Arteta wouldn't have done this reaction, and I think he probably would have because it just shows it's about time Arteta had some balls really to make these decisions, and he needs a backbone. And if he's showing any leniency to any players in this squad. And that's always been the case at Arsenal. You've seen Granit Xhaka, Aubameyang's, and certain other players in this squad just walk around willy-nilly, like, I'm not going to be touched. But I've really liked this from Arteta. Even in the press conference, it was snappy reaction. Not snappy to the press, but he was spot on with every single answer. And Aubameyang, through his career, he's done this with every club he's been at, but he's been allowed to do it, and he's been allowed to do it for far too long. And you're the captain of Arsenal Football Club. If it was the captain of us, obviously Hendo wouldn't dare because he's a true professional. But if that was the captain of your football club as a neutral, you'd be absolutely fuming. Because the captain sets the example to obviously the young players and obviously the fans around the world. And everything and the poor results have fell on Aubameyang's head as well. It's not like him and Lacazette have been lighting up the Premier League in recent years. But yeah, I for me would give the captaincy to Smith Rowe. I know it's a big task, but he's Arsenal through and through, and he's young, and obviously I think him and Saka have very much been the senior players in the team the last couple of weeks because they've been absolutely superb.
Yeah, and the other, I mean, obviously, I'm not trying to be too biased here because obviously I'm Scottish, but I would give it to Kieran Tierney. I think Kieran Tierney would be a very good captain. But you have to say, Arsenal, this young Arsenal side is so improving so much. I mean, Martinelli, very very good player. Smith Rowe, really good. Saka. They found a winning momentum under Arteta, which is the main thing. But do you think that they can keep this up?
Yes and no. If there was more experience within that squad, I think this is all about Arteta. I think and the squads. It's one of the youngest sides in the Premier League, isn't it? Chat as well. They're phenomenal. But then you watch results like us when they play us or they play the Ev. They've got it in them to really frustrate themselves and the whole fan base of them. But it's part of the learning curve, isn't it? When we had the early years of Klopp, Arteta's nowhere near Klopp's ability, but in terms of when a manager does come in, for me, they'll get there eventually, but I think they'll struggle. I think there's more experience in this West Ham side, and United will sadly eventually probably get top four as well, given the amount of quality. They got Ronaldo and everyone in. So, well, for me, I'd love Arsenal to get back into the Champions League, but it's a million miles away from me at the minute.
Yeah. As for Leeds, are you worried about Bielsa? I think people have now found him out as a manager.
Yeah, it frustrates me, miss. If that was other Premier League managers playing the way he does, they'd be getting lambasted in the press because it's Bielsa ball and he's allowed to get a free pass on every decision he makes. I've seen people quote tweet, but they weren't really real. But all the pundits going, "Oh, they're just being beat 7-0, but you play beautiful football." You can't say that. But it wouldn't surprise me, like BT and Sky and all that come out after that game. But you could have drove a tank through Leeds' defence. It was that wide open. It was embarrassing, really. I think you'd probably have better defending from an under-9s team. It's something's got to drop. I was saying to Carl on the show this weekend with Statman Stubbs and that. You can't continue to play like that. Even he agreed. Carl was like, "No, we can't." But he's not got that in his locker, has he? The defensive mindness and tactics.
No, he never has. He never has. Let's see what a lot of people are saying in the chat. Eliver's gone for a 2-1 to Arsenal. Helen Rabel's gone for an Arsenal away win. West Ham 5. No. Oh, he's corrected himself. I was wondering what you were saying there. 5-9 to Norwich. I don't think so.
That would have been a good game, that mate.
That would have been a great game. 5-0 to West Ham. 3-0 win to I think that's Arsenal. Helen says, but he also never changes the way his team plays. That's his problem. Leeds 1, Arsenal 2. Agent says he'll go for a 3-1 win to Arsenal. He will be sacked, in my opinion. I can't see other owners sticking with him much longer. Arteta or Aubameyang. Yeah. Me, the Arsenal captain. When we played Arsenal with Goodison, Aubameyang's body language looked like he didn't want to be there. Funnily enough, I don't know if you've seen this, Jag. rumours about Newcastle United this morning.
I think they're the only team in the league that can, them in City, that can afford his wages, can't they? It makes sense. Arsenal will be absolutely made up just to get him off the wage bill. But it's not going to be easy because I think me and Ryan, we said it in our group chat, as soon as Aubameyang was going to sign that deal, we said his performances, he'll throw his toys out of the pram and he'll just lose all focus and momentum. He only tried his best pre-contract to get his contract, and now he's got it. Was he on like 250, 350 grand a week?
Must be something absurd like that. Yeah.
Bloody crazy, mate.
It is indeed. Helen also agrees with us both. Says Tierney or Smith Rowe for captain at Arsenal. Leeds missing Bamford, Koch, and Rodrigo Marino. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, Bamford come back and I think he done his hamstring again. I'm like, typical.
Yeah. The captain's armband is cursed at Arsenal. They haven't had any real luck with choosing captains. Last one who worked as a captain was Vieira. Yeah, that's very true, actually.
Sammy and Assi, Fabregas, Van Persie, Aubameyang.
Van Persie wasn't too bad, I suppose. But then obviously
he jumped in bed with United, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Can you see Arsenal getting top four this season? Safe answer, Helen, no. I don't think they're good enough to get a top four yet, but I can see them in the European places. I could see the European places. I'll afternoon to Ballam. Marcello needs to work on his English as soon as possible. It can be difficult for the players and him. I expect he will go in the summer. Yeah, I think he says he's not unsackable, which is very interesting. As well, jokes aside, I think Tierney would be a good captain. I'm on the road to 200 subs. Didn't do a APL Matchweek 18 since most games postponed. My throat ain't good now. Oh, dear me, that's not good.
Okay, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello to Sebastian. Manchester United, Brighton 1. He would have gone for as well. Hello, afternoon, Reese. Hope you're doing well. Leeds 0, Arsenal 1. Aston Villa 3, Burnley 0. Oliver says hello to Sebastian. Would have gone for the 2-1 to Palace. Man United 2, Brighton 0. And hello to Reese. Trippier could be on his way to Newcastle, I've heard. I think that's a sensible deal. I don't know about you, Jag, but I look at where Newcastle's right-hand side and right-backs. Manquillo, to be fair to him, Manquillo, I thought, played okay last night. But they've got Emmy Kraft as well. But Kieran Trippier, just having someone that experienced as well will help them.
Yeah, it's going to be a mad one, isn't it? Because we'll probably see Newcastle. They'll take anyone and everyone at this race, even if Aubameyang on a lot of money. But they need that defence. We played them last night, didn't we, mate? And they were lost at sea. I know the second half they played very well to frustrate us. I think that strength all helped us. But even still, like certain moments and glimpses that when we played them, we opened them up. And even if it hasn't been against us, it has been in recent weeks. Teams have they've passed like the Red Sea. And there's enough quality out there, but it's how much they are willing to spend. For me, if I was a Newcastle fan, I'd be disappointed that it's Eddie Howe spending upwards of 200 million. You'd want a more experienced manager, because you only have to look at what Everton have done with the amount of managers they've had, and 5 years later now they're in debt. Obviously, Newcastle are meant to never be in debt, but it'd just be wasted money for me.
Yeah, interesting. Ballam says, if Wolves win, you can imagine Jack and Douglas, the Thomas out people. Chelsea fans will be saying that a lot. Oba will be linked everywhere. Some people will say him to LFC because of Jurgen. No, I don't think Jurgen wants him. Jurgen will not want a player like that. No, sorry. I just do not say that. Aston Villa 1, Burnley 1, says Reese. West Ham 4, Norwich 0, and Leeds 1 at Arsenal 2. Villa 2, Burnley 1. Hello everybody, says Ballam. Leeds missing Calvin Phillips 2. Jeez. Yeah, Leeds are in trouble. Leeds are definitely in trouble. Hello to Ballam, says Helen. Newcastle are going to make lots of signings, I think. I think so as well. And hello, Helen. I don't want Albert LFC. That rumour will be lazy journalism. I think there's only one way this game is going to go, Jack. I think Arsenal are going to rip Leeds apart. I mean, you like your outlandish predictions as well.
I was looking at that result, mate, and I was thinking, boss, it would be just the Premier League on it, lads and ladies, as well. it would be the Premier League. We just seen the Leeds get absolutely slapped up the week prior, and then they'll probably go and beat Arsenal. But I've got to think with my head. Not many times to do that, you know me. So I go with Arsenal. Yeah, I go Arsenal 4-1.
4-1. Funnily enough, I've gone 5-1.
Oh.
I just think Leeds are in for a battering. I really do. I really, really do. Helen said Aubameyang to Barca. If they can afford his wages, if they can even afford him, then yeah, possibly. But the problem is, again, is Barcelona don't need players like that. They don't need players who just like have like a lazy lifestyle. Yeah.
Oh my god! Imagine him and Depay up front, Christ. They probably have the most expensive cars and all the football, both of them.
Oh, bloody hell, wouldn't they just? I think Aubameyang to Newcastle was on, says Elevator and Escalator Fan. Very interesting. Very interesting. Could suit Barcelona, yes. Yeah, but I think we both expect Leeds United to get a bit of a beating. Another game that's obviously fallen foul of obviously COVID cases. Everton against Leicester City. 2 wins apiece and a draw. The last meeting was a 1-1 draw. I have to say, I don't do it often, but you have to give kudos to Everton last night. Their youngsters played exceptionally well to get a 1-1 draw with Chelsea.
Yeah, tremendous, mate. I didn't expect any Everton to get any points. Sorry, everyone, even out the fan. But that's football, and you do surprise you. And I was messaging my Everton mates, think we all were going, it's nice, get in. But that was a more important point to Everton than Liverpool because they needed that. And I think I watched Rafa's post match after the game, and obviously he said he didn't like them going behind, but the attitude and the reaction. And Iwobi, I think they would have won the game if Iwobi wasn't on the pitch. And there was like a couple of counters when that Evan had, or the Evlot now as well, James as well. There was mounted counter-attacks when Iwobi was on the ball, and it was just one through ball.
Yeah.
To obviously Braithwaite and the forward lads. But I'd say play more of the academy kids a lot more often, and most likely will get bigger results because they know themselves what it means to play for Everton. But could be massive come the end of the season, and we joke about it. But a point 2 in the rounds, the obviously the relegation zone, they won't be there. Rafa's a good enough manager, but they were heavily depleted when they took that Everton team, and somehow they've got a point, which is massive.
It is absolutely massive. We will obviously come on to Chelsea very, very soon. But as for Leicester, obviously they've got a lot of injuries. I mean, if they had played Tottenham, they wouldn't have had any fit centre-back. So they might have had to play Wilfried and Didi at centre-back against Tottenham. And they would have had to play Daniel Amartey at centre-back as well. Leicester, this game would have been very interesting as well because, you know, Everton are depleted, but Leicester City are completely depleted as well.
Yeah, most definitely, mate. And I think, obviously, certain moments this week and next couple of weeks and months, teams will be happy to have the break. Obviously, I think, it's not nice that the squad or anything's got COVID and all that, but I think it would have helped, especially if you are a team in a tricky run. It just stops the momentum of losing. It will be interesting to see if our game does go ahead, mate. But it's Tottenham. It's been a couple of weeks now, isn't it? Like a good week or two, possibly. But it's mad. I would have liked to have seen this game go ahead, mate, and chat.
Yeah, I would have as well.
I think it would have been an interesting tactical battle. Rodgers up against Rafa. Both teams in difficult periods, you'd say, at the minute, in terms of the league season. But yeah, I would have went 2-2 for me. It's screaming a draw for me if that game did go ahead. 2-2.
I would have gone 2-0 Leicester. I think. I think James said it in the chat. I think. Where's a comment? Where is it? Everton 1, Leicester 2. Normally, after we get a good result, we then lose the next game. So it wouldn't have shocked me if Leicester got a win over us if it went ahead. So you would have gone 2-2. Interesting stuff. Yeah, I would have gone 2-0 Leicester. I think Leicester would have beaten Everton. Let's see some of your comments. Elevator and Escalator fan would have been 1-0 Leicester. Helen Rabel says Leicester City to have beaten the Blue Shite 2-0. I've just read James's comment. Vardy or Madison would have scored, in my opinion. I'm just comments are going up so quickly. Today, Christian Eriksen officially leaves Inter Milan, who LFC will play soon. If he goes to Denmark, will be a good move for him to play if he's able to play competitive football. I'd be highly doubtful, to be honest. I think we've already touched on this. I just don't think he's going to be going back.
Clubs, Davy Blind. I don't know if it was a similar one. Could be completely different teams in relation to his art and that. But it will be. I think teams will take him on, but. Similar to Aguero, mate, you never know if they're gonna come back the same.
Yeah.
I know Aguero was completely different. You just stop it even for a certain moment, but you just got to look after themselves. Eriksen can retire very happily and minted at the minute, but it's whether he's happy. I think his family and all that would want him to retire, and people closest to him, but he loves football, doesn't he? And he's fully capable of still playing. Davy Blind, I'd implore you to go and check out the little videos, a couple of documentaries. Obviously, Ajax helped him in his recovery. I think he's got like a heartbeat monitor or something, pacemaker or something, whatever it is. And it helps him massively with him playing football, and he's playing still Champions League football.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think Liverpool were lucky to get the easy draw in the Champions League? I don't think Inter Milan's an easy draw.
Yeah. What do you mean if we got Salzburg done at Chelsea, mate? I would have took Salzburg. Back-to-back Salzburg, but sadly Chelsea got Leo to Leo.
Yeah. Our kids show more fight and bottle last night than experienced players have shown all season. Yeah, absolutely. Just very, very quickly, it looks like Everton are going to be signing a Ukrainian left-back, Miko Lenko. I've never heard of this guy, but probably plays with Dynamo Kiev, so he must have played in the Champions League this season. Does that mean Luka Digne's off?
There'll be a lot of suitors after Digne, wouldn't he, Jay, as well? But there'll be a couple of good puns going out there. There's what you would have done a couple of decent links. Linko.
Dear.
You'll make a couple of jokes if he does move.
I probably will as well.
That'd be a massive loss for them if he did lose.
Yeah, definitely. Leicester to win, but game postponed just to cover for Leicester. Yeah, knew that anyway. The one time Jack was pleased Everton got results. The Stam and Stubbs. PSG might take Eriksen. No. I do not think so. Not a chance. Long time. Sorry for the question, but what do you think is best for football? A 1 or 2 week break? I think the problem you're going to have is if the Premier League does stop, then you're just going to have to fit all these games in. And it's going to be a very, very tight schedule as well. And the problem is, I think I read somewhere that if the Premier League is postponed, Mane and Salah miss more games in January.
For me, it's monitoring all the players, though, mate. You're heavily reliant on all the players staying inside, not staying inside, but isolating with the families and that. But you've seen with certain players, you've been going out of the bubble, and then this is how it's happened. Obviously, all these players are meant to be staying in the bubble, and it's sad, and you could be in the same situation, if not worse, after the 2 week break, if you get me. But for me, it makes sense for a 2 week break. I know it'd be chaotic to the schedule, but if it's need be for Premier League football to still be going ahead, it has to happen.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that. Comments are going up very, very quickly there. Long term. Eriksen to Ajax, our Premier League team, according to news people. I don't see him coming back to the Premier League. I think he'd probably finish off his career at Ajax, I would say. Because obviously Daley Blind's got what he can there. Everton, no Leicester 2, says Sebastian. I think Eriksen back to Spurs. I don't see that one happening, to be honest with you. I think Digne is off. Can't see him playing for us again under Benitez. Yeah, something's happened there. I don't know what has happened there. I can't believe LFC had Salzburg first and Livingston that cannot be correct. Then the Dublin FC, which is not correct, and then Inter. Luca Digne, Chelsea, maybe they need a left back. That's a shout, actually. That's a real shout. I don't know if Chelsea would go for him. That's the thing. Luca Digne is a good player. It will feel like a slap in the face to replace him, says Helen. African combinations need to decide now if it's happening or not because of the deadly COVID-19 virus. We will be discussing that in tonight's LFC Focus podcast because Sky Sports have got the rights to that for some reason. So could be interesting. And exactly, Helen. Now, this is a very interesting game, this one. Wolves Chelsea. I have to say that Chelsea won 2. There's been 2 draws and 1 win to Wolves, but Wolves last won 2-1 against Chelsea. This has the potential of an upset. Wolves have been very, very good defensively, very, very good, getting goals. Chelsea's form has really dipped, dipped at home as well.
It's for me. This has got Wolves written all over it again, mate. We've seen them play against us. They frustrated us, didn't they? But I'd understand if Chelsea did play their attacking flow and football and had a lot of threats. But over recent weeks, and it's Tuchel's wheels are coming off by the looks of it. Because for me, that's got Wolves written all over it, mate. Especially if they can take the chances and it doesn't fall to who. I'm sort of going with Aubameyang then. Traore, then yeah, I'd go 3-0 Wolves. For me, 3-0 Wolves. I think probably watch Chelsea absolutely slap Wolves up now. But something I'm watching this Chelsea side. I don't know how everyone feels in chat as well. There's something about it. There's something.
Something not right.
Yeah, something's not sitting right with me. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, something is not right. But 3-0 Wolves. Wow, that is. I did warn people that your predictions are very, very interesting. Bit mad. Yeah. The elevator and escalator fan says Digne to City. To be honest, I could see that as well. I could easily see that. I think he would improve in that City side anyway. Okay, later on the podcast, Wolves have a new manager and winning recently. Yeah, Wolves have been very, very good under Bruno Lage. I think this will be high scoring. Interesting. I wonder what your prediction is there. Wolves win 2-1, says John Moore. Funnily enough, that is my prediction. I am actually going to go for a Wolves 2, Chelsea 1. I think we might see a wee upset there, and Chelsea fall further behind in the title race. Could be interesting. 2-2. Chelsea struggles without Mendy. Is Mendy injured?
Was he injured? That's a massive miss.
That's a blow. That is a very, very big blow if he's injured.
Lukaku was out injured as well, and Timo, I'm pretty sure, in the recent game. So you never know if they'll come back.
Yeah, Balms asked, would it surprise you if Tuchel goes soon? I don't think he'll go, but I feel he's lost a little bit of passion. He's lost something. He's not been quite right recently. I don't know about you, Jag, but when a manager loses that passion, that determination to win games, it always ends up with one of either being sacked or parting company.
It's difficult when I think we've all watched Tuchel when he's been at PSG and obviously Dortmund and the other previous clubs he's been at. He always, come the end of his tenure, that current club in which he does find himself in, that they always have arguments, whether that be with the executives, obviously at PSG, it was with their chief executive or sporting director, whatever we call them these days. But I think you look at him and he looks a manager that's frustrated at his players. It's like, yeah, Kante's injured and they've got a couple of injuries, but Chelsea's squads, I know everyone dismantles Chelsea. Like, they haven't got good squad depth in the middle of the park. And I'm like, yeah, mad.
Yeah.
They've got bigger squad depth than Liverpool and most other teams in the league. But I think he demands so much from his players. And I think there will come a time and point in the coming, whether that be next year or the year after, when the players just react in the wrong way and they just stop listening to him. Because the modern day player will do that. And I think the Chelsea lot will very much do that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree with you. Asian Sessions was going for 2-1 win to Chelsea. Interesting. Wolves won, Chelsea won. Chelsea dropped too many points recently, especially last night. If their form carries on, Tuchel might not last the season. I think we both said that, haven't we? We've both said that. Chelsea win. Wow, bold shout, Jack. I think that's your 3-0 Wolves. Wolves 2, Chelsea 3. Chelsea go 3-0 up, and then Wolves score 2 late on. Yeah, I don't think Chelsea are that. Chelsea are not scoring goals. That's the problem.
They've
They're
been
not
leaking
scoring
goals,
goals.
so many, haven't they, in recent weeks? Very unlike Chelsea.
Yeah, Wolves could upset. Wolves could upset the apple cart with moneybags Chelsea. However, Mason Mount is keeping Chelsea afloat in the Prem at the moment. Absolutely. Didn't get my 8-0 last night, Jack. Lol.
If only, mate. If you wake up again, mate, you never know. Wake up in a parallel universe.
Hello to Ross H. Shout out for my good mate Craig Ritchie. He's good friends with Kieran Tierney and supports the mighty Allo Athletic. Happy birthday, Craig. Happy birthday. Thank you for tuning in, of course. Yo, Johnny Boy, lol. Chelsea with Gallagher and Billy Gill. They need to sell a few and put them in the squad if they rate them. Yeah, I don't think Gallagher's going to go back in January. I think Gallagher will go back in the summer.
I hope he moves as well, though, Doug, don't you? In chat.
Me too.
You'd hope he move, especially if he does go back to Chelsea and he's sat on the bench. We've seen so many players do that. We've seen certain players like Bellingham leave Birmingham, the club or whoever he was at anyway, and go to an established team in Europe. But yeah, for me, Gallagher, I'll be all above you. Won't mind him at Liverpool if he come at the right price, but you never know.
Yeah, absolutely. Shall we with a goal and a pass to Mane yesterday? Yeah,
lovely
absolutely.
Assist.
It was a lovely assist. Next game. Now, this game has been moved to 2 p.m. on Sunday because of obviously the Everton game being postponed, because obviously Sky had to find one other game to obviously put on TV. It's Newcastle United, Man City. 3 wins to City, 1 win to Newcastle, 1 draw. The last result was a crazy game, 4-3 to Manchester City, but obviously both sides kind of rotated. I think City heavily rotated that day because Scott Carson was in goal last season as well. Has this got City win all over it for you?
Big fat win, mate. I think it's got to be another massive cricket score for City, because we just watched Newcastle's defending in brief moments. It can be terrible. But in recent times, we've seen City rock up to Newcastle, having weak chat as well, and absolutely dismantle whoever's the manager of Newcastle. For me, it's going to be a big scoreline. I'll go 5-0 City.
5-0.
Yeah.
Wow. I've gone 3-0, but I think City should win. Interestingly, Pep Guardiola had to cancel his press conference because of inconclusive COVID result. Like I've never all these new things, inconclusive COVID. It's just we just don't know what happens at the moment.
Yeah, no, you can get a test, mate, and they come back false positive and all different. It's mad. Yeah, it's crazy.
It is indeed. I think Gallagher was signed a permanent deal with Crystal Palace. He's in some form there. He's been fantastic, hasn't he? 4-0 City. Sky loves to change the kickoff times. Manchester should win, says Balam. Newcastle, no Man City 3, as well as James saying, including me. 7-0. Man City 7. I don't think it'll be 7. City goal got all day long. 5-0, says Helen. Newcastle were in good form. Now they're in bad form. They weren't really in any good form at all, really. A couple of draws, 1 win. Yeah, that doesn't.
I think doesn't 1 win's like a classic good form for them, mate, because they very rarely have a win.
Yeah, it certainly feels like it. But no, I think if Newcastle get this wee period out of their way, because they've had Leicester, they've had us, they've got City, they've got Manchester United coming up as well. It's a horrible run.
Yeah, we wouldn't like that, would we? But I suppose you've got to play them eventually. And I think for Newcastle, I think they'll be happy once they're past this period that the big boys are out of the way, because they're probably not expecting themselves to, especially with St. Maximin, if he's out injured. He looked like he done his hammy against us, and he absolutely terrified me last night. I was absolutely kicking my pants.
Mhm.
He was just running through our back line. I was like, oh my god. But they need Saint, Allen. They need Allen fully fit to get any result out of this game.
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. Asian Sensations are going for a 4-1 win to Manchester City. I was talking about the Newcastle when they last played Man City. Okay. Yeah, that is very, very true as well. Thoughts of Jack and Douglas? Are Burnley going down? Yes, I think they are going down. And what did you say for Aston Villa? I've gone 3-0. Jack's gone for a very narrow 1-0 victory for the villains there. Newcastle were informed before Mike Ashley sacked Benitez. Yeah, they were. They were absolutely in very, very good form. Anyway, now it's... I do not know if this game is going to go ahead, but the final game to preview and predict before obviously the Christmas period is Tottenham against Liverpool. And as I've said, on for now, but highly expect it to be postponed. Liverpool have won the last 7. I'll repeat that again. Liverpool have won the last 7 meetings between Tottenham and Liverpool. So, and the last meeting was obviously a 3-1 win. But if you're Tottenham, you're going to be rusty. You're not going to be ready. I think if this game goes ahead, I just think the way Liverpool have been playing recently, you've got to fancy Liverpool to probably spank them.
Yeah, as I said before, mate, and chat already today, it's rhythm momentum in certain teams. Really, that when you haven't played a lot of football, coming into a game of this magnitude, it could possibly be very difficult. And we don't know what players have been out, if they have suffered COVID or any chest, like any illnesses as well. So they could be missing probably 6 of their main team players because the information doesn't come out of who's got COVID or who's been tested positive in that. Because it could be a lot of them first team players and they're heavily reliant on playing a lot of the young players. For me, yeah, I'd go Liverpool, 3-0 Liverpool. But we just need this game to go ahead, mate, because I think if City do play ahead, you don't want to be playing catch up at all.
Just very quickly, obviously, before I get to your guys' comments, I will get to your guys' comments very, very shortly. What did you make of the first goal last night? Were you surprised the game wasn't stopped by Mike Dean?
No, because if you look about it, Hayden actually looks to see where the ball is prior to him getting on the floor, and he literally looks across to the ball, and then he goes and has a little sleep in the 6-yard box. For me, it was a coming together of their own players. If it was a Liverpool player or a Newcastle player, that I can understand. But Hayden, and I know the Newcastle fans are going, oh, head injury and that, but he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly. As soon as he's at that ground, you're telling me if he was seriously injured, then sounds. But devil's advocate, plain devil's advocate, really, he knows exactly what he's doing. If that was a Liverpool player, probably would have done the same. But if hopefully the Liverpool players would have been more intelligent to see that ball's coming in our 6-yard box, get your backside up and actually defend it. Never in a million years should a game getting stopped there. And you'd always play to the whistle. Doug, me and you played in the park. Everyone knows, play to the referee's whistle. Regardless, if it was a head injury, fair play, stop playing.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, and that's the main thing. It wasn't a head injury.
Yeah, definitely. I would absolutely agree with you. I think obviously, like I was always told play to the whistle, but obviously when there's a head injury, I would always be told we've got to stop play because obviously head injuries are very, very important for sure. The Brazil load LFC player Alan, who never played for LFC, went on to win in Brazil. Well done to him. Well, congratulations to him. I think another high scoring game. I think we can beat Spurs. Conte and Jurgen will be a match Sky Sports will build up to. Yeah, absolutely. Tottenham 0, Liverpool 2. What are you going for this one?
3-0 Liverpool, mate.
3-0. Yeah, I've gone 2-0. I have gone 2-0. So I agree with James.
Past Spurs, Johnny. I think.
Yeah, he loves playing Spurs. Absolutely loves playing Spurs. LFC win if it goes ahead 4-0, says Helen. Yeah, I think Liverpool are going to win this one anyway. Tottenham 0, Liverpool 2, says Statman Stubbs. Tottenham 1, Liverpool 3. VVD missing and Fabinho will make us concede. Yeah, maybe. It's a bit of brilliance from John Joe Shelby yesterday that we had to concede. 2-1 Liverpool, says Sebastian. Spurs 2, Liverpool 3. Spurs strike first. Then we respond before halftime with a goal from Manny. Then we go 2-1 up through a dire OG. Imagine that. Then Son score a worldie to make it 2-2. Then Salah will win it. Wow, you've got this planned out.
I wouldn't be able to cope with that, mate.
No, definitely not. Not having Fab, Virgil, Jones, we were able to win. I don't see that changing if they don't play. Yeah, absolutely. But they're still waiting on the results. I think Klopp came out and said they're still waiting on results. Anyway, but that is obviously just to clarify the predictions that I've put. I would have gone 2-0 Manchester United had that gone ahead. 3-0 Aston Villa against Burnley. I would have gone 2-1 to Brentford had that gone ahead. Palace, I would have gone for a 1-0 win. I would have gone for 4-0 West Ham against Norwich. I've gone 5-1 to Arsenal against Leeds. I think Leeds United are going to get ripped apart. Sorry, Carl, if you were watching. Everton 0, Leicester 2. I would have gone for had that gone ahead. I'm going for a Wolves upset 2-1 to Wolves. 3-0 Manchester City against Newcastle and Tottenham 0, Liverpool 2. And if you want to hear Jack's, he would have gone for a 2-1 win to Brighton against Manchester United. He's gone 1-0 for Villa. He would have gone the same as me, 2-1 to Brentford. He would have gone 3-1 Palace, 5-0 West Ham. He's gone 4-1 Arsenal. He would have gone 2-2 between Everton and Leicester City. Wait for this. If you're just joining us, 3-0 to Wolves against Chelsea. That could be very interesting. 5-0 to Man City and 3-0 to Liverpool. But whether or not these other games go ahead, it is entirely impossible. Impossible to say, but we're very, very hopeful, aren't we?
Yeah. But there's a quick one on Doug as well in chat. Let us know. Eddie Howe coming after the game, obviously concussion on that. Why didn't he take Hayden off if he had supposed concussion?
I was wondering that, and I think that's all down on Eddie Howe. That.
Yeah, because you can't go about saying the referee. You've got a duty of care on your player. If you suppose he got concussion, why wasn't he taken off? That's one thing I would have wished to have. You should have asked that in the interview after the game too. So if he's got that, well, that's another day, mate. That's another day.
Yeah, absolutely. I predict by playing FIFA sometimes. Well, to be fair, that we have all done that. As well. More games could be cancelled. Even Super 6 isn't open until 5 p.m. Very interesting. Helen, sorry. I should definitely try and get Super 6 on as well. But yeah, we'll obviously see what happens at the weekend. Obviously, there are only 5 games on, which is very, very disappointing. But obviously, COVID cases, I don't think you'd be able to force the teams to play anyway. But Jack, thank you very much for coming on and taking me on. So it should be very interesting. We'll see how we both do. And obviously, whenever those games are going to be played, we'll obviously wait and see. But what have you got coming up on your channel?
Still going to do my post-match for the Newcastle game, mate. If you're around today, try and get you one today. If anyone else would like to come on, you're very welcome to. I'll drop the link in the chat anyway. You're very welcome to jump on. But cheers for having me on, mate. Apologies, it was a bit late. Technology. The computer decided to do an update. Didn't do it last night, but obviously, of course, it does it tonight. But yeah, I have a lot of shows coming out, especially obviously with the AFCON potentially getting stopped and that. But just shows.
Yeah, absolutely. What I'm going to do, folks, as well, is I'm going to leave a link in the chat, and also this is the link for the Friday LFC Focus, which will be on at 7 o'clock tonight. It's the final one of the year as well. We do have Owen coming on as well, so that should be good. Also, we might have Michael from Michael Talks Football. He might be coming on as well. So very, very good show lined up. Which minute did Brad rant in the last video? I'll have to go back and check Elevator and Escalator. It was very, very funny that he did rant. That was very, very funny as well. And as Helen says, have a good day, Reds. And we will see you all later for the LFC Focus podcast at 7 o'clock. 3 podcasts in one day. My voice is going to be shot by the end of this. But until then, it is goodbye from us. You'll never walk alone. Cheers, Reds.